Hello YouTube, this is Faisal Khan. I'm a banking and a payment consultant. I have a question. We are living in uncertain times these days. Everyone is quarantined, but at some point in time, this whole thing is going to be lifted and we will hopefully return back or resume our normal lives, maybe with slight changes. One of the things that I think everyone is looking forward is mingling with other people, and that brings me to the question of conferences. In the payments world, there are many conferences that happen. I think that if I were to do the rough number, I think it's about 100 to 150 conferences that happen worldwide in the payments arena. What are some of the big conferences that happen with, let's say, just to start off with, and I'll perhaps do a few other videos, but let's say we want to talk about the money transfer, the remittance industry. In the money transfer industry, there are predominantly two conferences. The one that's dominant is the IMTC, the International Money Transfer Conference. That's what the IMTC stood for, but it's now including everything from banking and payments. It was done by Hugo of Moore Consulting. That's one of the oldest remittance conferences that is out there. They have a conference in Miami, which is the IMTC World. They have one in San Francisco. They have one in Africa. They have one in EMEA. They have one in Far East. And they have one in New York, I believe. So it's a very old conference, a very solid one that people can go to. The other one is hosted by Veronica, and she is from the IAMTN, the International Association of Money Transfer Networks. These are perhaps the only two organizations that are essentially doing conferences. Each one obviously tries to say we are the best, we are the good, this. I actually have found them both to be equally worth it going to. IMTC is done worldwide. It's like a 3-day conference, with 1-day workshop. So it's an elongated thing. The IAMTN is just a 2-day conference. They have day 1 and day 2, but the IMTC is typically a 3-day conference with one pre-workshop, a workshop day before the conference, pre-conference. In my opinion, I value both equally. They're both attending to the same industry. They're both giving them a voice, etc. There are a lot of people who have attended these conferences complain, oh, it's the same people over and over. It's the same. Well, what do you expect? It's still going to be the same companies, still going to be the same people, and the whole thing is to basically catch up, to obviously meet up. You meet your colleagues, your peers, the people that you hang out with, the people that you do business with, you meet up with them. Some new players come, some old players exit, some mergers and acquisitions take place. So it's a general, a place where you come and meet up. You exchange ideas. So one of the things you do in the conference is you exchange notes. You catch up, hey, what are you doing? Hey, this is what we're doing. Hey, let's compare notes, etc. And generally you get to hear about what's happening in the industry from a compliance point of view, from an access to banking point of view, from a licensing point of view, from business point of view, what sort of challenges they're facing, etc. And you basically sit down and have a roundtable discussion. This is exactly what's happening in most of the cases in IMTC, which I love the format, by the way. The roundtable format is an excellent format. In the IAMTN, it's more of a stage in the audience where you have the speakers or the panelists on the stage, and then there's a moderator and there's the audience, and you have breakout sessions. You have a lunch session, a coffee session, etc., where you can go and have conversations with your peers and colleagues. So both these conferences, the IAMTN, which is the International Association of Money Transfer Network conferences, and the IMTC conferences, both are worth attending. There are, one thing to be sure, it's not like you would find the buyers here. Buyers rarely go to conferences. This is something of a misunderstanding, that people think that just by attending a conference, the buyers may come there. Maybe a buyer or two will come there, but they're there not to immediately buy off you, because now everyone is selling. So they are more there to get, an awareness level, increase their awareness levels, their understanding of what the market is, who the players are, who the solution providers are, etc. But buyers typically don't come to these conferences. What you will see, however, is that these conferences are a great resource. What you will see in these conferences is, what the industry is looking like, where the industry is heading, who the players are, who the new players are, who are the players that are facing a difficult time, etc. Anything and everything happening with yourself and your colleagues as on the whole. You will see it in the conference. There are two conferences that I might want to mention. One is the SWIFT conference, So SWIFT does something called a Sibos, SIBOS. It happens on a new continent every year. Sometimes it's in North America, sometimes it's Europe, Australia, Asia, etc. They keep shifting it. Sibos is by SWIFT, bankers galore, great conference to attend to. And that again is where payments and money transfer, cross-border payments, etc. are people are always present over there. And the other conference I want to mention is the Money 2020 conference. There is Money 2020 China, Asia, EMEA, Europe, which is happening there, and obviously the Money 2020 Las Vegas. So there are 4 conferences, great conferences to go to. They're huge, so do plan ahead. Unlike the IMTC conference or the IAMTN, which are boutique conferences, controlled crowd, 300 to 500 people, very good, very intimate settings. You get to know people, you get to make friends. The IMTC and Sibos is my apologies. The Money 2020 and Sibos are huge conferences, where more than 10,000 people come over there. So it very easy to get lost in those conferences. But maybe after this quarantine period is lifted and we resume our lives, you may want to plan for these conferences. Once the quarantine is uplifted and we resume our normal lives, I hope we will run into each other and our paths will cross. And if you're planning for the conferences, now is a good time to seek the map, the calendar, and see which ones you want to map out, which ones you want to attend, which ones you don't want to attend, and hopefully we'll see each other. There's a contact form in the description below. If you feel like writing to me, please do so. This is Faisal Khan signing off. Till next time.